Good morning, and good morning. How you doing this morning? It is Friday. I'm excited because I've had a few good things happen to me since I spoke to you last, which was Monday. Of course, Wednesday was all sellout because I don't know, for some reason I didn't have any connection on most of Wednesday. Anyway, the time that I would broadcast out, I went to sit down and got it all together and nothing was working. It said you have no internet connection. But I am back today, thanks to Cox. I am back and happy about that. But another thing that happened is that on yesterday at my Rotary meeting, of which I'll soon be president, I received this award, and it's kind of tiny there, but it has a sapphire in it. And it is for, service, obviously, towards the foundation of what Rotary is all about, to look at, the total eradication of polio, which is down to one country now, but just looking at other things of service above self. And someone, I don't know who it was, actually donated this for me based on what they've seen me do regarding my interest and involvement in Rotary. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you, whoever you were, or whoever you were in terms of more than one person. Those of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I am honored. And so now I am a Paul Harris plus one. And hopefully, after this summer, I will be a Paul Harris plus two, if the Lord says so. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to talk on Wednesday, which I'm going to do today, which is to talk about gifts. We don't know that we are a gift. We're a gift to so many people. We've been given gifts, through our birth, and then either we're in positions to continue to receive those gifts, or we've learned something along the way where we will give gifts. So what are gifts? Gifts are just vitally important to me, to just tell someone that you love them, you care about them, you are hopefully making their day bright and happy, and you're concerned about their well-being. All those are gifts. And a lot of the gifts that we get may not be as tangible. We may not be able to touch every gift we get, not externally. It may be totally inside, it may be within the head, it may be in the heart, but it is within you that when you have a gift. I think it's a gift to have friendship. I think it's a gift to have children, especially if they've been good children, and they respect you and honor you and appreciate you. Those are gifts. And the same thing, it to me, if you have coworkers or you have a job that has other people involved in it, all those are gifts. We come here with no instructions. So for us to be able to be placing ourselves in a way that we know how to maneuver life, we have to decide how we're going to do it. And I especially, good morning, Joan. How are you, my friend? Good to see you in the space. I always concern myself with, in May, the first 2 weeks, I try to honor mother, because a lot of times the mother may be the only and sole person that's there in your corner. Not because the father is gone, but maybe the father is just too busy. Or maybe they are gone and therefore you don't know them. But I'm telling you, to know that I know I lived a life where my mother was there for us. No one came before us. After my father died, that was it. My mother made sure that her kids were raised, and everything that he didn't do, such and he wasn't the disciplinarian, she was. He wasn't the one who showed love the way she did it. Okay. Where she would give you a talk, and then she'd give you a little pat on the arm or a little hug. My mother wasn't overtly loving, but we understood it. It was a thing that we understood. We believed in it. We acknowledged it, and it was something very special. So anyway, I have a poem here, and it says, looking back. And Let me see. It says, excuse me. It says Jeannie. Let me see who his name is. It said it's by Jeannie Graveline. Jenny Graveline. I don't know who that is, but Jenny, thank you. And it says, looking back, Mom. It says, until I became much older, Mom, there was just no way I could know the sacrifices you must have made as you watched your children grow. I didn't consider how tired you were at the end of every long day or appreciate the meals you cooked. I was clueless, I guess you could say. I never thought of the time you spent tending to all of our needs, putting us first each step of the way. And that's how your life story reads. Knew without question, now without question, I understand. A phrase that still rings in my ear. There's a special place in heaven for moms. Looking back makes it all the more clear. And sometimes we don't ever have a clear understanding of who we were given as parents. Sometimes we were given a step parent, we were given an auntie, we were given a mama, a grandmama, a nana, somebody. Somebody stepped in the role of mom, and that's fine. You know, not every biological mom is going to stay on course and know how to really raise children or even be interested in it. But if you know someone that has been in that mom role, I want you to do something special for them. You don't have to wait until the 14th of May. You can do it right now. You can just do something special. Doesn't say it has to be anything that's greatly monetary. You know, it could be just, take them a card by, you know, take them a cupcake. Just make sure they don't have diabetes. Okay. Um, just go by and give them a hug. Go spend some time with them. Sometimes people want time. They just want your time. A few minutes, 30 minutes. Look, you probably throw away 30 minutes. I know I do every once in a while. I'm busy a lot, but if there's somebody that I want to see that's kind of been really supportive to me, I'm going by to see them. I'm going to make it my way over there. But anyway, I'm going to ask you this morning. Are you stuck? Sometimes we are stuck. So are you stuck getting rid of the clutter and going to the basement? Okay. I did that years and years and years ago. That is too funny. Years ago. Use banners they're giving me all kinds of instruction on here as I'm talking to you and I'm reading and I'm going to say, well, I've never seen those before. But anyway, the point is that we want to just make sure that we know that life is above ground, okay? Above ground. And so therefore we need to be above with our attention, above with our love, above with our kindness, above with the fact that we either knew our mothers or we know someone who stood in the gap and played that role to just make sure that we understood the care, the love, the trust, the kindness. That's love. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Marion. Good morning, everybody. I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming in. Maybe it is your birthday month. It is my birthday month. Actually, I turned another year older and wiser on the 13th of this month. Ironically, yesterday I went along with a friend of mine, Anita Hemphill. We were invited, just based on our hats we were wearing, to the Mint Jubilee, which was put on by the Gulf Coast Diplomacy Council. In their looking at the whole international visitors, program. And I tell you, I love it. I've been doing it now for a year and a half. I hope they continue asking me to do it. I've met people from different countries, young people, and they're so excited to meet me. In fact, they keep trying to take me home with them, and I keep trying to tell them, no, this is my home. But one day, if I can travel, I certainly would like the support of understanding their countries if I'm ever in that position to do it. But yes, thank you, thank you. It will be my birthday. But anyway, let's talk about gifts. And I'm going to ask you, are you stuck occasionally on what to give a mother or a mother type? Sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck because we don't even know what gifts we're already received from them. We're too busy. We're too busy. But what is a gift? It says a gift is a thing given willingly to someone without payment. It's a present. There's no payment involved. It's just a present. And says it's a donation. It could be an offering, a contribution, a handout, a presentation. Sometimes we can just give somebody a poem. That's one of the things our Sunday school class did about maybe 3 years ago, was that we were given the idea to write a small poem about someone that you consider to be very special, and write it and frame it, type it out, print it out, put it in the frame, and then give it to them. And I ended up getting 2 of them that I absolutely love, and I gave 3 away. So sometimes you just never know how happy someone can be when they look over and they see something that you wrote to them about them, their love, their willingness to serve, whatever it is. But anyway, gifts are also an alms, they're charity, there could be bonuses or awards like the one I received yesterday. It could be an inheritance or an endowment. That's after somebody is probably gone. Personally, I would like to know that someone cared about me before they left here. And I try to do that now, whatever after my demise or after my death, whatever happens, that means I thought about you even longer than I could see you anymore. Okay. I thought about you beyond that. But anyway, gifts are also like a gratuity. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention to when you go out to eat anymore, what they kind of do with, they're basically giving you the option, and it almost is an embarrassing option, that they want 18%. So I can't find 15% anymore. So it's 15%, not as much, 18, 20, 22% is what I've been seeing on different checkouts. So it's very interesting. And sometimes you're not necessarily at a restaurant. You could be at other locations that are also taking tips. Let's face it, the pandemic changed everybody on how they look at what they need and what they want. And we either tower to it or we tower away from it. Also, gifts are sincere giving. They're freebies. It may be a perk or some sort, and it is true sweetness. It is a sweet thing to do. So when I break the word down this morning, all I kept thinking of with the gifts is that gratuity that I was speaking of. Sometimes my service has been just absolutely exemplary, and I want to do something special, because one of the things I do know about restaurant tipping is that so much is anticipated by the owners or management that the patrons will be tippers. Okay, not all of them are, and sometimes if their experiences are not good, they end up not tipping as nicely. But I really pay attention to what they do for me. And I know I'm a nuisance when I go out to eat. Everybody knows that. Okay, I want things cooked. Don't bring them to me half cooked. I want my toast toasted. All that kind of stuff. But I'm honest about it, because I start out with that. I don't leave it for them to have to keep taking it back. And so I do deal with gratuity, and gratuity says it's a tip given to a waiter, taxi cab. Like I needed an Uber recently, and the Uber driver was just so sweet and kind that I gave her a nice tip. She was engaging and pleasant, and she said, which side of the building is best for you? I take it to whatever side, whatever. I like that. I like the attention she gave. So a gratuity is a tip, a present. It is also a reward for what they did. It could be what they call a fringe benefit, because the benefit is that they're working. The fringe is that you're helping them, maybe get some extra money together to pay a bill, or the lights, the gas, something. Excuse me. and then it's extra than the regular money that they get, and it's a also what they say is it's a bit extra, so it could be really big or it just could be a little bit. But gratitude is great. That's a great word. How much gratitude do we show for what people do for us when they're working in positions that certainly call for gratuities? It's a really good thing. When I move further on in the word of gifts, I come up with inheritance. And I truly believe that, we as mothers or aunties or cousins or whatever, we understand once we've lived long enough that if we have insurance policies or we have bonds or we have stocks or we have all those things that pretty much say that we try to curtail our lives in such a way that when we're gone, somebody will be in receipt and receive something that we've left. So I look at inheritance as something that is important. Important. There you go, Joan. As soon as I said it, okay. And that's how that's life, that things just are important. And it says an inheritance is a thing that is inherited. So it wasn't yours before, but when somebody leaves, they will leave you something. And it says it's the assets that one receives from someone who has passed on. So that's when you would get an inheritance. Now, sometimes they may put in an early trust. They may put it in a form that, like an annuity of some sort, that would come, annually or monthly or even based on age. And you may have it where, the child, when they're 18, may not be as ready and as capable and able to take care of money at 18, but maybe you'd put it at 25 or at 30, or even at 35, because sometimes it takes people longer to learn the importance of what it is that they have and how they should handle it. So, certainly these gifts are gifts that we get from our mothers, could be our fathers too. It doesn't matter. It's just an inheritance. But because I've related it to mothers, our inheritance is not just money. It could be some of the things, the recipes. It could be the clothing. It could be, I don't know, her style. My mother was a stylish little somebody, so I always look at it as, my happy. I could think back when my aunt and my mother, we lived in New York, and sometimes we'd be in downtown Albany or wherever, and my mother and aunt together, they could stop cars, no lie. And I would always, I'm nosy now, I tell you that. I would say, so why all them people keep honking? What's wrong? Or why we're walking in the right part of the lines in between the, basically pedestrians walkway. My mother would just smile and my auntie would smile. I didn't know. I was still, I was 9 or 10 years old. But later on I got to understand that thing that, okay, they're just looking that good, that people are actually, marveling at them. So I get it now. I didn't get it then. But anyway, so our inheritance could also be something that has been bequeathed. It could be a part of an estate. It could be a benefaction. All of these things pretty much lead to what it could be. It could also be basically just putting us in a position that we are doing well. We're doing very, very well with what we get. I see my paper cut off something. Let me go to my cheat sheet. I have a cheat. I write everything up. um, yes. Okay. Okay. So I can only see the first part. Okay. The next thing for my F is favor. I believe that, we have favorite things that we can give to people. We can give them now or we can give them later, but it is favor. And favor basically speaks to, approved, it says that they've been approved by you, supported, or basically they're liked enough. The person is liked enough that you want them to have something. So there is favor. And favor is a good thing. I think it is. I think favor, to be favored, says that someone sees you, they hear you, they know you, they love you. I like it. So it says, that it has approval. It's been, an approbation. It's been a commendation, an esteem, goodwill. Now we hear goodwill all the time. Fundamental. Oh, I like that. That's a great word, because sometimes things are fundamental. It's fundamental that you know what you want to do and how you want to leave things. That's really good. It says it is a kindness. When we get things from others, it's kindness. And we should show that gratitude that Joan was speaking to before, and the importance of it, and the fact that it's fundamentally important that we understand how favored we were if we were given something that we weren't expecting. It says it's also a benevolence, and it's also friendliness. When you get something from somebody that you weren't expecting, that is friendliness. Sometimes I would just send people things. They can comment on something and I send it to them. You know, can't have this outfit though. I kind of like this one, but we'll see. We'll see. The T for me in gifts is tender. I believe that it requires a tender heart to give anything away. A tender heart just says that I feel like it. I feel like I want to do that. And it says it's showing gentleness and concern or even sympathy. Sometimes we have to do that with people. We have to understand that people need something, and sometimes just what you have to give is what they needed to receive. Something as simple as a card. I have a couple of friends that I know they're going through bereavement. And so I've already called and said, what can I do? I'll bring some food over. Just tell me what day I need to do it. Thankful. I like that. Thankful. Thankful is good. So anyway, when we're tender, it says in concerning, it says that we're caring, we're showing kindness, we're kind-hearted, we're soft-hearted, because sometimes my mother used to say I was too soft-hearted because I would give too many things away. And so one time I remember giving something away, and she said, well, where's the sweater that I bought you, that sweater, and you just really liked it? And I said, oh, so and so needed it, so I gave it to him. Now my mother was a little upset, but not to the point that she was angry much. She just said, okay, all right, that means you don't have a sweater and I'm not buying another one, but it's okay that you gave it to somebody that needed it. That was good. It says that also when you're tender, you are, motherly. How many of you are motherly when you're talking about or with other people? Now you take care now. Make sure you lock up when you get in the house. Okay, put on that seatbelt. That's what I do to my daughter. I put on that seatbelt because it's not just you driving. Other people are driving and they could. Okay. It says that you're gentle, mild, generous, and I think that we are generous. If we're giving gifts, there's generosity in that. The fact that we're giving gifts to somebody. And also it says that we are humane. And I think, the person that is willing to give a gift realizes that it's very humane to do that, very much so. Once again, my mother would give away almost anything, unless she just got it. Now, if she just got it and she didn't try it out or try it on yet, she might not. But you know, she just would. She'd always do that. When I move on, excuse me, and to my S is sweet. Something as simple as doing something for somebody is a sweet act. It's to me, it's beautiful because they weren't expecting it, and all you did is you just wanted to do it. You just wanted to do it. So sweet, having the pleasant taste or characteristic of something that's sugary, not salty, sour, or bitter, pleasing in general and delightful. Satisfaction, that's a great word. How satisfied with what we do for others? How satisfied are we? I want to be satisfied. When I lay down, I want to, and when I lay down and it's all over, I really want to be satisfied and said, that God can say, well done, my good and faithful servant. But while I'm here, I like to be satisfied with what I try to do for others. And that's important. So when something is sweet, it's going to be pleasant and pleasing. And sometimes I'm more pleased to give stuff away than I see on the person's face who receives it. But later on, I'll see it. I see them and what I gave them, and they're just happy as a lark. But I like it. I like it. It's okay. Sweet is also agreeable and delightful. It says it's something nice to do. It's very satisfying. So there you go, Joan, right in the same word. It said it's also gratifying and welcomed. Most things that people are given, they're welcomed, unless it is that what you're giving away wasn't worth giving away. I've seen people give, as they say, all they have, but other people couldn't appreciate it because they didn't find the worth in it. And sometimes, I've even kept things that people have given me because the sentiment is there, and I love that sentiment. So I've kept things. I remember a lady used to call me Mrs. Benborn. I answered all the time, Mrs. Benborn. She said, "Is this Miss Benborn?" I said, "It certainly is. How are you?" And I always love to hear from her. And she gave me a little egg, and I still have it in my china cabinet. It's a little like a crystal type egg, maybe plastic, but it didn't matter. She gave it to me. And I remember I would go over to her house, and every holiday I made it special for her. That to me was my satisfaction. That was my sweetness. That was my tenderness. That was my favor of her. That was my gratitude. That was my giving. That was everything. I absolutely enjoyed it. And I remember being so devastated when she passed on. But she would always say, "Miss Benborn, I don't know why you're not married." I would get so tickled. I said, "Well, why do you think I should be?" She said, "Well, every woman needs a man." So she would give me, and I think when she died, I think she might have been 94. But just a delight to know. So sometimes we don't know where our gifts come from. It may just be the fact that they smiled, the fact that they are elderly, the fact that they are wise. And it doesn't require much of us, just that we do whatever we can do to make them feel the love that we have or the care that we have for them. So I'm excited about just doing this particular little session. It's quick, but I said next week I'm going to relate a few more things to Mom and let it be. And then towards the end of the month, I think on the 22nd or 23rd, I leave here for Australia. So this is their cold month. So I'm trying to figure out how to dress from our warm weather to the cold weather. I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to see. It says, "When I cleared my parents' house, I gave away more than I sold, gave their piano and organ to a church that was just beginning." So you sound like me, Joan. When my mother passed, I remember now at one time there were 10 children. There's only 2 of us now. My brother in California, and I'm here. And there was just so much work. It was more work than I ever could imagine. But everyone was consumed with what they were doing, so no one helped me. No one. And I remember being absolutely crazy. I invited, her neighbors in to have anything that they wanted. Did not matter. There's no way I could bring all that stuff back to Florida. There was no way I could sell it all. I sold a few things, but most things, like you, I gave away. And you understand that gifting something to someone is a payment. It's a payment to the heart. It's a payment to the head. And it also resolves the fact that, you gave it to somebody that needed it or could use it. And so that was important. That became more important to me. And here's the sad thing. The sad thing is that because I was on a time constraint from my job. I had been away so much with family support that I couldn't continue to take off and take off. So I had probably already taken off about a good, 4 months, and I still was trying to reserve having time and, to get back and still save time so I could take a few days off for my own rest. And I remember being up there and just saying, I can't do anymore. There's nothing else I could do, but I had to clear my mother's apartment. I literally got a storage. The storage stories just probably, there's so many people that probably have storage places losing money every single month. That was me. And when it added up, it all totaled close to $9,000 over the years that I left it there. Just never had time to go and clean it out. And none of the grandchildren, great grandchildren, all of them were established. They didn't want it. They didn't want any of that. So it just goes to show you that life, that sometimes you come in on something that you cannot clean up the way you would like it to be. And if you give it to certain organizations, they sell it for higher than what you could have given it away for and really been much more appreciative and excited about where it was going. But it is what it is. Sometimes you're under restraints, just like I'm quite sure Joan was, and I remember I was. You got to do what you got to do. But anyway, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. This weekend, I am dealing with the Rotary, the Suburban West, and the Cordova Rotary Clubs here in Pensacola. And I will be on the gate doing the Burger Battle by the Bay. Okay, 4Bs, Burger Battle by the Bay. They have 20 competing, both professional and amateur groups. There's going to be, you can vote on the best hamburgers you like. They'll have a little bit of entertainment, bring your chair where you can sit down if you want to. But it'll be down at Maritime Park starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. And I believe it's from 11 to 2. The burgers are really good. Let's see who wins. So far, it's been True Grit has won 2 years, and Sammy Barker won the first year. Sammy Barkers. So anyway, come on down. If you buy the tickets and you need them ahead of time, let me know, and I can try to get you where they're $15 each. But if you wait until tomorrow on the gate, it's $20. Okay? I love you guys. I appreciate you for giving me this time. Have a wonderful day and a safe weekend. And look, do something special. If your mom's gone, do something special for someone else that just would like to receive a little love from you, a little kindness, a little care. Okay? Have a great, great weekend. I love you. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.